It's in the mid-50s this afternoon. I'm out here looking at a couple of hives. Got some cold bees hanging out. I don't know why they're outside. This is a good strong box. This is probably bees that are out flying today and came back, got to the box and said, oh, I'm home. I made it. We got a few that didn't make it. Oh, that one's still alive, but that one's not. Look at there, she stuck her stinger out when I picked her up. She thought about getting me. I'm not going to open that box right now, but that's a good strong box. Nothing in that one. So welcome back to the 628 Dirt Rooster channel, where hobby beekeeping is a way of life, and where today I'm going to do a little something different. I think what I'm going to start off with will be still shots of a removal that we did on an upper middle class custom built home. The property owner wasn't present and we didn't video the job, and I took still shots for their benefit so they could see what they had in their house once we got done removing it, and so they could see what we put back and what was going to have to be repaired, because we weren't going to do the final repairs. So sometimes when we do removals, I don't video for various reasons. Maybe it's in a spot where I don't feel comfortable video, and maybe I don't have time, because it does take time to do that, or maybe I just don't think it's going to be a good removal, so I just don't, it's probably not going to be anything interesting. I don't video it. Sometimes that's a mistake. This time that might have been a mistake, because this was a pretty good removal. It wasn't a massive hive, but it was a good size, and it was in a good spot to video, honestly. But we didn't. I took pictures for the benefit of the property owner, and I'll go through and show you those now. Now this is the first shot of the job, and this shows Pete breaking into the soffit while it appears that I'm playing. Well, I'm really not. This picture right here was solely for Mr. Ed's benefit. I sent this to him by text to show him that we're out working while he's over at the Abbey painting pet rocks or whatever they got him doing over there. We're standing on a roof that is on the back of the house. The eave edge of this roof is about 23 or 24 foot off the ground. 21 foot is as high as the ladder would reach that we brought with us. So we were back and forth through an upstairs bedroom window to reach this. And thank God for that. Made it a whole lot easier. By this point in the job, we had already located the hive with the FLIR, and then there was a hole $half size maybe in the soffit where a squirrel had chewed, and we were able to run a scope up in there and actually see the hive. So we knew for sure where it was, and I had to go back downstairs for some tools, for a rotary saw and for straight edge. Now this next picture is the first shot once we got the soffit open, and we were able to kind of look. We had the soffit dropped about that much, just enough for me to get my hand and my arm up in there. This first one we got after we dropped the soffit a little bit. Stuck my hand up in there, took a picture of it with flash, without flash, with flash, without flash. As we go along on jobs where the property owner or property manager can't be present, I always take progression shots, and I usually text them to them as we're working, just so they know what's taking so long, because most of them have no concept of why a job might take 6 to 8 hours, and this one didn't, obviously, but I want them to know why we're in or on their property for that long. And I don't charge by the hour, but if somebody's working on something at my house for an entire day that I don't understand why it didn't take an hour, I want to know why they're there all day. So for that reason, I send them the shots, and then we get the standard text back, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that was in my house, and that's huge." And I'm going, yeah, not really. This was pretty good, a pretty good size. It's deceptive how big it is, really, because the front edge you see in there, well, it goes back into that framing, so it's probably a little over a foot thick, and you can kind of compare the size by the Airbnb side or the 2x4s. You can compare by the 2x4s. It was a decent height. It was probably 16 inches tall. 14 to 16 inches tall, and it was about the same depth. And full of bees, just packed full of bees. This next shot, soffit's still attached at the back edge, and you can see all that garbage on the soffit and the stains on the wood. That was where the squirrel had nested. And when we got this open, Pete was out. He was gone. A squirrel had died in there some time ago, and it still had a squirrel. It had pieces of fur and carcass and stuff laying on that soffit. And Pete does not do rats or anything, any type of rodent. So tearing the tearing the nasty part of this out was my job. I don't know how much hair I sucked up because it all went airborne as soon as I dropped that soffit. Next shot is after we got the hive completely exposed and we're starting to vacuum bees, because it was, like I tell you, it was really loaded with bees, and we weren't going to be able to pull comb with all those bees in the way. It's just a couple shots of Pete working on the hive. It kind of shows you it was a bit of an uncomfortable height. He couldn't really stand up in it. I certainly couldn't stand up in it, and if I was kneeling on the roof I could reach it okay, but then I'm working way overhead and your shoulders get tired. So it was kind of an uncomfortable spot to work, and it wasn't high enough to sit on a bucket to do. It was just, just grin and bear it, get the job done. Here comes Pete out with the first piece of comb, first decent sized piece of comb. He's checking for eggs and larvae and looking for the queen. And further on in, we're still vacuuming, trying to knock numbers down. Bees are all over the place. And then here's a shot looking out the back. This is overlooking, this is their backyard out to the marsh, and then where the grass goes to brown, that is a saltwater or brackish water marsh on the Back Bay in Jackson County, Mississippi. Now these next few shots were after we got the hive completely removed and put back what was left of the soffit. You can see there's a squirrel chewed hole in the corner, and we screwed it up, caulked what we needed to caulk. We left that corner hole open. Obviously somebody's going to have to come back and repair that section of soffit. We just put it in there for the time being to keep the weather out. It wasn't going to keep any potential future swarms from coming in, or squirrels or anything else, but it would keep rain from blowing up in there. That wall right there under the soffit, not the brick wall but the stucco wall, was the east wall of the master bedroom. Really high vaulted ceiling. If a storm came up, we don't want water blowing into the master bedroom wall. So that was the reason for putting that soffit back like that.
Yeah. Are you gonna let
you take that?
Well, you like to play with fire. I made you a little pile over here so we get some more from it.
We got Hunter and Shaye joining us this morning.
What's going on?
Brand new beekeepers, about to be.
Yep. All thanks to you.
Don't blame it on me. It's fixing to cost you.
Yeah.
Go on a little bit.
There you go. Drop it. Puff it. Is the pound straw wet?
A little bit, a little damp.
Success. All right.
I'm trying to send smoke signals to my mom. Let her know where I'm at.
Let her know you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just finished jamming it down in there and then shut the lid.
Stick me a pine cone in there for good luck.
There you go.
How you doing? I ain't got nothing for you.
I wish I'd had the camera running to show how fast you spotted that queen.
Wow.
Got some more dead.
Yeah. We're just going through some hives this morning, kind of a little teaching session. This is a bit of a weak colony. Gonna have to do something with it. We got a few emerging. Got a few larvae that are not looking good. But we do have open brood. So she is laying.
Oh look, that one's coming out.
Got larvae in all stages and eggs. She's still laying. They got a little bit of honey in them. They got enough honey to make it through the winter as small as this group is, but we're going to have to do something with them or they're not going to make it. This is the whole hive. That's the whole colony right there.
Okay.
I was
We've got
thinking
his
that
name already.
at his grandma Gracie's house, she has a popcorn tree. I remember we were planting a garden last March, and they were all in her popcorn tree. So that'd be a good spot
Favorite
to
tree.
like catch a hive. I was telling him.
Put a trap on it.
Stinger juice. We've had some honey, that honey before.
It's
It's
the
good
best honey,
stuff.
best honey on the coast because nobody else makes it.
We got dome
Not like,
bees on the
like
coast.
stinger juice.
Our bees
No.
are trained to do that. Nobody else has trained bees like we do.
Mm-mm.
Is that my camera, or are you just trying to waste time videoing me?
How would I have your camera?
I don't know. I must have left it in the truck.
You got the patent when you pulled it out.
He likes to catch you off guard with that thing.
Go ahead and tell them what you did.
We was doing some inspections.
Shame.
It's a shame what happened.
Smile.
Oh, that really hurt.
You're swelling up in the cheeks.
What does she do? What does she do when she gets hurt real bad? If she's that happy over, hey, it really hurts.
I think I like put pressure on it because I moved my arm. I didn't know it was there. I think it was
Yeah,
my
it was
shirt.
Yeah.
probably on your shirt or something.
Oh,
Look, when you get the.
Let me see.
Oh, look at that.
first bee sting ever. It's right,
Where?
I think it's right there.
Yeah.
Ain't too bad.
Sometimes when we do hive removals out of structures, especially